News 7x7 is a unique channel dedicated to the news from dairy industry. Every week you receive brief on top 7 dairy news on this YouTube channel from India and abroad. These news could be seen in detail on our channel dairynews7x7.com also. You may write in the comment box on the dairy topics of your interest. We will try to develop news feature on the same. Your constant feedback and patronage to this channel is our source of top 7 dairy news from the week of June 6-22 will cover dairy companies to further increase their prices in first half of FY23. Indian dairy major Amul urges government to delay plastic straws ban. Punjab to encourage women to set up commercial dairy farms. Aavin does not produce health mix for expectant mothers. Rabobank forecasts decline in demand for dairy products. New study associates dairy milk intake with greater risk of prostate cancer. Global dairy prices increased by 1.5% after 5 consecutive drops. Milk prices could remain high in the current financial year on account of the high global prices of the skim milk powder and cattle feed. This could prompt dairy companies to hike prices further in the first half of the financial year, analysts at ICICI Securities said in a note. All the dairy companies under our coverage have taken some price hikes, 5% to 8%. However, rising milk procurement prices remain a key concern. We expect all dairy companies to take further price hikes in first half of FY23, analysts said in a note on the dairy sector. Wholesale milk prices increased 5.8% year on year pan-India in June. Milk prices in South India are up by 3.4% year on year. Global skim milk powder prices have steadily increased over the past 12 months, increasing 26.3% year on year and 3% month on month in June. We believe the consequent attractive export opportunity may disturb the demand-supply equation in the Indian milk industry. Rise in prices of key raw materials has resulted in higher cost of food for bovines, according to the report. This will prompt farmer to pass on price increases to dairy companies. News agency Reuters reported it had seen the letter sent by Amul Managing Director R.S. Sodhi to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's office on 28 May. Calling on the ban on straws packaged with small packs of juices and dairy products to be postponed for a year. A delay would provide huge relief and benefit to 100 million dairy farmers who safeguard our food security in terms of milk and milk products. Parle has also written a letter to the Indian government saying there was not enough local production of alternative straws and imported paper and biodegradable variants were around 250% more expensive. Pepsi's Tropicana juice as well as Coca-Cola's Maaza and Parle Agro's fruity mango drinks are also among top selling beverages. Industry estimates show 6 billion of such packs are sold each year in India, while Gujarat-based Amul sells billions of small dairy cartons with plastic straws attached every year. The government has asked drink companies to switch to alternative straws. Punjab government will set up small commercial dairy farms in state and focus on involving women in the business. Punjab Dairy Minister Kuldeep Dhaliwal held a review meeting with the officials of the Dairy Development Department and directed them to carry out a special campaign to motivate women to set up small commercial dairy farms. Dhaliwal said that in Punjab, women in family usually takes care of livestock. Therefore, a special scheme will be launched by the Animal Husbandry and Dairy Development Department to encourage women to set up small dairy farms. The minister said that the scheme will be implemented at the block level, under which 300 units would be set up in each block. He also directed the officials to implement this scheme by the end of June. Under this scheme, the state government will provide financial aid to women-run dairy farms for purchasing 2 to 5 animals. Also, the state will provide assistance in livestock insurance and setting up of temporary shed. Minister for Dairy Development S.M. Nassar in Tamil Nadu clarified that Aavin was not manufacturing any health mix meant for expectant mother. It was only planning to manufacture a health mix like Sattu Mavu meant for general use. Addressing press persons at the Aavin headquarters in Nandanam, he said that for the past 2 days, some political leaders were unnecessarily stating that a loss of 77 crore rupees had been incurred due to the health department not procuring the still under research mix from Aavin. All government departments including Hindu religious and charitable endowments departments were procuring ghee, butter and other products only from Aavin. Health Minister M. Subramaniam said that his department had procured ghee worth 34.49 crore from Aavin since the program to provide 8 items to mothers for antenatal care was launched in 2018. In fact, the tender conditions stipulated that Aavin ghee also should be procured for the packs to be distributed to expectant mothers. The health mix for the mothers to be was prepared according to the WHO guidelines. Rabobank's response to "Are we there yet?" referring to peak milk powder prices is yes. It appears that global milk powder prices peaked during first half of 22, while milk production is in the middle of a significant slowdown set to last at least 4 consecutive quarters from third quarter of 21 to second quarter of 22. Weakening demand expectations are creating the scenario for some moderate price declines in dairy commodities during the second half of 22. Strong domestic milk supply growth in first quarter of 22 of 8% year on year and high carryover stocks from last year's strong imports are colliding with weaker demand due to COVID related lockdowns in China. This is creating the perfect condition for reduced Chinese dairy imports from January to April 22. Milk production is expected to recover modestly in coming quarters. Record high feed cost and weather related issues have directly impacted margins for dairy farmers across the big 7 dairy producing regions and for some time now. Inflationary pressures are expected to trigger lower demand in rich and poor countries as consumers are being hit by a global inflation wave not seen since the 1970s. Men with higher intakes of dairy foods, especially milk, face a significantly higher risk of prostate cancer compared to men with lower intakes, according to a new study conducted by researchers at Loma Linda University Health. The study found no such associations between increased prostate cancer risk and intake of non-dairy calcium, suggesting substances other than calcium play a role in the risk dairy foods pose for the prostate cancer. The study's result revealed that men who consumed about 430 grams of dairy per day or 1.75 cups of milk faced a 25% increased risk of prostate cancer compared to men who consume only 20.2 grams of dairy per day or half cup of milk per week. Also, men who consumed about 430 grams of dairy per day faced an even greater increase in risk when compared to men with zero dairy intake in their diets. The study evaluated dietary intakes of over 28,000 North American men with a wide range of dairy and calcium exposure, all of whom were initially free of cancer. The average price at the fortnightly event at GDT on June 7th rose 1.5% to US dollar 4,656 a ton after falling 2.9% in the previous auctions. The price of WMP, which strongly influences the payout for local farmers, was fractionally lower to US dollar 4,158 a ton. It would seem that dairy commodity prices have bounced and the market is ready to push higher gain. The increase was the first since the start of March and lifted the global dairy price index off its low point for the year. The volumes sold were down by nearly 12%, which Davison said that it is because nowhere near satisfying the demand evident in the auction, even with North Asian buyers, mainly Chinese, largely absent because of a supply chain disruptions. The key results are as follows. Anhydrous milk fat index up by 2.7% at an average price of US dollar 6,201 per metric ton. Butter index up by 5.6% at a price of US dollar 6,068 per metric ton. Cheddar cheese index down by 3.6% at an average price of US dollar 5,365 metric ton. And SMP index up by 3% at an average price of US dollar 4,240 per metric ton. Thanks for watching Dairy News 7x7 channel with news update from last 7 days. To continue receiving update from this channel, I Kuldeep Sharma request you to subscribe this channel and share and like the video, and also don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.